Brainy Buzzy presents 8 Causes of Attracting Toxic People. Do you ever wonder why you seem to attract toxic people? Are you afraid, deep down, that there might be something wrong with you? Maybe, but you give off a certain vibe that tells assholes, come hither. There's nothing wrong with you. But you may possess certain traits that make you particularly attractive to toxic individuals. Read on to find out what they are. Number 1. You are positive. Toxic people are used to seeing life in dark tones. Their glass is always half empty. So, your sunny disposition is a breath of fresh air in their stuffy, miserable existence. You make them feel good, although deep down they think you're naive and delusional. You might want to let them be. No matter how positive you are, they'll still be unhappy because they can't find joy within themselves. And they'll always have something pessimistic or negative to say. Even if that doesn't bother you at first, eventually you'll start to feel drained and frustrated. If you let them, toxic people will suck the positivity right out of you. Number 2. You are honest. Lying makes you comfortable, and you're not very good at it. You can fib or exaggerate sometimes, but overall, you're a straight shooter. The problem is, you think that everyone else is, too. You don't expect people to lie. Most of the time, you take their words at face value. That's what toxic people love about you. They can get away a lot of lying before you catch on. They can also use your openness against you. You might want to be more selective about who you open up to. Toxic people are like super efficient information gathering machines. They're always on the lookout for secrets, gossip, and anything else they can use in their favor. So, the less they know about you, the better. Number 3. You are compassionate. Your friends call you a bleeding heart. You feel empathy for every living, breathing being, and unfortunately, that includes toxic people. Their woe is me persona cannot survive without people like you. Your compassion is their energy, bread and butter. They feed on it, and they are always coming for more. You might want to lean out a bit. Remember that toxic people love to play the victim. They will play that role with anyone, especially with compassionate people. They know that if they can get you to feel sorry for them, they can easily manipulate you. Number 4. You are a good listener. You are a naturally good listener. No one taught you that. Your innate kindness shines through when you give the person speaking to you your full attention. Not everyone can go that, and not everyone is willing. But you are. Because of that, toxic people are attracted to you with an irresistible force. There's nothing they love more than talking about themselves, or hearing themselves talk. You might want to set some boundaries. You, my friend, are giving them that sweet nectar of undivided, empathetic, patient attention, so they will keep talking for as long as you're listening. Try putting some limits on how much whining, complaining, or humble bragging you can take. Number 5. You are non-confrontational. Yep, you hate conflict. Whether it's good or bad, it makes you uncomfortable and you would rather stab yourself with a fork than have a screaming match somebody. That's why toxic people love you. You're a little bit of a pushover, so you won't tell them off even if they're crossing a line. You prefer to tread lightly and be understanding of people's flaws. You might want to grow some cojones. It's a real slippery slope with toxic people. Before you know it, you'll be drowning in unnecessary, but urgent, communication, unreasonable requests, and unsolicited advice. So, put on your big panties and start saying no when you feel like you're being pushed around. Number 6. You want to help. When you see someone having a hard time, you just want to help them. You tend to take on more responsibility for people's lives than you need to. Toxic people love selfless saviors like you. Why yes, why don't you try to fix me while I stand aside complaining and criticizing? You might want to let them deal with their own problems. There's help, and then there's enabling. You are not responsible for anyone's life, besides your own. And you are not to blame if you tried to fix them, and failed. Because there's no fixing someone who prefers being broken. Number 7. You are generous. Toxic people are natural takers, so your generosity is incredibly attractive to them. The more you give, the more they take. But when you need their help, they'll disappear faster than a cartoon rabbit, leaving clouds of dust behind them. That's when you'll learn the hard truth. They don't really care about you. You might want to value your resources. Especially value your time, because toxic people sure don't. They can repeatedly use you as a dump for all their emotional garbage, and it will never even occur to them to thank you. They will take, and offer nothing in return. If you're not careful, you'll grow resentful. Don't let it get to that point. Number 8. You are loyal. You do not discard people easily. Once you make a connection with someone, it's hard for you to let go, even if your gut tells you that they're not good for you. Toxic people have a knack for exploiting your loyalty. You might have a friend who's never there for you when you need them, but you still hang out with them. You might have a relative who takes advantage of your generosity, but you still help them whenever they ask. Or you might have a romantic partner who makes you feel bad about yourself, but you're still with them. You tell yourself, "We go way back," or "I made a commitment," and you give your loyalty to people who don't deserve it. You might want to learn to distinguish between loyalty and a codependent relationship. I know it feels like you owe them something, but you don't. If the relationship feels one-sided, it is. If a guy declares his undying love for you in public, but tears you down when you're alone, he doesn't need your loyalty. He needs a firm shove out the door. Parting thoughts on why you attract toxic people. Your light is what attracts negative, toxic people. They are drawn to it like a moth to a flame, quite literally. Toxic people don't have a light of their own. Like the moon, they can only reflect the light, not emit it. Typically, they are deeply miserable, hopeless, joyless people. They need to be around the people with the light to feel better and to feel important. So, the reason you attract toxic people is that you shine so brightly that it makes them jealous, and it makes them want to leech onto that light and get some for themselves. It may feel like to avoid toxic people, you need to hide your light, and maybe even be more lie them. That's not the takeaway here. Be yourself, be the light. But also, be aware of the qualities that might make you vulnerable to toxic individuals. Learn to set some boundaries with difficult people, and always listen to your gut. In other words, don't listen to the words they say. Listen to how they make you feel. How do you deal with toxic people in your life? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, and share it with your friends, so we can keep making them. For more videos like this, hit the subscribe button, and remember to click on the notification bell. Thanks for watching.